Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 85. Today's date is March 7th, 2021, and I am Duds, or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interweb.
And I am Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. So what has your week been? What have you been up to this week?
We're recording at a different time, so everything's being thrown off.
That's an easy line.
That is an easy line.
That's a pretty easy line. And the thing is, it's so easy, I try to play with it, and I try to ask you a different way.
Don't you play with the script, Jimbo.
And it comes out as, what have you done week? You know, when I try to play with it. So I'm just going to read it. How's your week?
How has your done?
How weak have you duds been? What?
Carl's going to get you for messing up the script.
It's all right. I got to rewrite all this.
I had a busy but a slow week at the same time. So anyone who was watching the YouTube channel saw that my villager trading hall went up in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's all but finished. All I have to do is move the villagers into place. I've got the breeder done. I've got all my old villagers moved. I don't know if the breeder works. I'm going to assume it's going to work because I built the Logical Geek Boy version. Right into the show. He's been on. Go check that out. And those are basically guaranteed to work. Anything from him has not broke on me yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that. I worked a little bit on my build series part 2. That series, other than the end portal design, is kind of lagging behind all my other stuff. And plus, I really wanted to do the villager trading hall some more.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of skipped doing build part 2 this week and decided to do the villager trading hall. That'll get done at some point because I definitely want to finish this build because the A-frame cabin has been one of my favorite designs, so I definitely want to get it done.
Yeah, it looks good so far.
Yeah, it's really cool. But finally, I've been working on a Redstone game that's old, but I'm kind of modernizing it. You've seen the Redstone work.
Yeah.
I've done for it on thing. I'm super excited. I'm going to keep it a little bit close to the chest because I probably won't be able to do it on camera for another 2 weeks. But all the redstone is worked out. I figured out how it's going to work. All I have to do is build it on the server. And I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, it does sound pretty fun. You were telling me about it last night or night before, something like that.
Let's just say I hope there's some gamblers on the server.
There are.
Yeah.
No need to hope.
What about you? How's your week been?
I started on my sheep farm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually finish that episode. I got a lot of stuff recorded. I just didn't get editing all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of finished it up. One thing to note, when I made my farm, I used glass. So the observer that observes the grass being eaten,
Mm-hmm.
I put a glass block behind it. So the observer would power the glass and the redstone on top.
No.
That doesn't work. Can't do that. You need a solid block there, not a transparent block. I know you can lay the redstone on there.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the block doesn't power. So that redstone won't power. It won't shear the sheep. Thanks for that on stream day, everyone, to remind me that I was using glass. And yeah, it's a pretty simple design and got all my stalls ready. That episode will be out this weekend. Besides that, I got 2 brand new monitors.
Mm-hmm.
They're MSI. I don't know the name, but they have it's up to 165 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
I play at 144, and everything it just feels so much smoother.
Yeah.
I noticed with my 60 hertz monitors, there's so much screen tearing when I go back and forth, and you don't really realize it when you're playing and stuff. Especially when I record, it doesn't catch that. The recording doesn't catch that screen tearing and stuff. Yeah, I noticed like when I was doing it on screen, looking at my recording, it wasn't tearing on the recording. So I thought that was pretty strange. But on my monitor, everything's a lot smoother now. I'm so much more happy with the performance out of my computer. Yeah, it's got them now. I'm happy over these.
My only complaint about my monitors are not anything fancy. Like, I think they're straight up 60 hertz. That's about it. That's their biggest features of 60 hertz. And they work.
Ooh.
They're 2 different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So like one's a 24 inch, the other's a 28 inch.
Mm.
And that's really my only complaint is because they're 2 different sizes. When you move the cursor from one screen to the other, it does this like 2-inch jump So moving back and forth quickly sometimes becomes a little hard to keep track of where your cursor is, and it looks a little odd when you look at it.
I couldn't help notice you said 28-inch.
Yes.
There can't be many of those, right?
Probably not.
Usually it's 27, right? 27 to 32. That's usually the...
Maybe it's... Dude, these monitors are old.
Yeah, you don't see too many 28s.
I bought these monitors when I built my first PC, and I built my first PC so I could do YouTube. Whatever the date is on my very first YouTube episode, that's how long I've had these monitors. And the only reason I bought them was because both monitors were 30% off, and they only had one of each left. So that's why they're different sizes.
Hey, they work.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are, I did have two 32 inches. Now I get 27s. Happier with my 27s.
Well, see, I think I'd want to go smaller on monitor size. I think my big monitor is a little bit too big.
Yeah?
I like the smaller ones. It gives a cleaner look on my desk.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot more room now. That's one problem with the big monitors.
Yeah. But anyways, should we go ahead and hop into some news?
Yep, I'm ready.
We got some Bedrock news.
Mm-hmm.
No Java snapshot, but there was a Bedrock Beta. And the way they number theirs is about as crazy as the way the Java does. But it's a bunch of bunch of numbers. And I was like, I'm not writing it down. It's the Mountain Beta.
It's pretty much the mountains.
Just the mountains. Everything else that's coming in their beta, we've seen in Java, we've talked about in Java. They've got a little snippet ad that I'm going to have Jimbo read, and then we'll go through the mountain section right after.
So there's more to these mountains than their imposing heights. They also have their own sub-biomes, including lofty peaks, snow-capped peaks, snowy slopes, mountain groves, and mountain meadows. Plus a fabulous mob is making a special reappearance, which is the Glow Squid. Not in the mountains, though. That would be weird and cruel. So the Glow Squid is coming to Bedrock soon.
And they already have the goat.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm just going to go ahead and read through this whole section, and then we'll go through and talk about it one by one afterwards.
Okay.
So mountains. They're obviously introducing the sub-biomes, lofty peaks, snow-capped peaks, snowy slopes, mountain grove, meadow mountain, and to accommodate the new mountains, they are raising world height from 256 to 320. That's something we've known. Mountain generation will go up to 256, so they won't always be 256, but they can go there.
Mm-hmm.
For the true alpinist, iron, coal, and emerald ores will all be generated up on the mountains. We talked about that with the ore generation chart.
Yes.
The updated textures for iron, coal, emerald, diamond, gold, lapis, copper, and redstone is all good on beta. They've got the updated textures too. Mountain terrain will now generate as part of overworld world generation. Kind of assume that.
Mm-hmm.
And they moved the goat spawn from extreme hills to snowy slopes, and they allow rabbits to spawn in Mountain Grove. So there we go. I did my research by watching Exuma's video.
Same here.
And he couldn't find all the different biomes, especially considering Bedrock doesn't have the F3 screen, so you really don't know what biome you're in.
Right.
But I can tell you the mountain generation really does look good.
Yeah, and he even had a picture of like a before and after.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the trees, and there wasn't a mountain at all there.
Yeah.
Upgrade, boom, this mountain, everything changed. You could see the trees that were still there. So yeah, these mountains generated in this certain area, and it looks great.
I will say it very much reminds me of Comic Craft Season 3, the one you were on, where me and Bank wrote the custom code to get the custom mountain terrains.
Looks similar?
Very much looks similar. Obviously, Mojang's is a little bit better than ours. More figured out. The one thing I'll put out there is while the mountains look really good, I really want to see some cliffs. This is the caves and cliffs updates, and I've yet to see a cliff.
Yeah. When they introduce these sub-biomes, you think lofty peaks might be something cliff-related?
Very well could be.
They don't use the word cliff in any of these biomes. You think, they'd
Nope.
have their own specific one. But what do you think of some of these biomes? Like, what do you expect in, like, the Mountain Grove?
That's the one that I was kind of curious about. I obviously think it's probably going to have some trees and stuff there. Snowy slopes is probably going to be where you find a lot of powdered snow.
Okay.
But yeah, Mountain Grove, when I think about it, I think of trees and I think of boulders. Don't know why I think of boulders, but that's what I think of when I think of Mountain Grove.
I'm thinking of a holler, like between the mountains.
Yeah?
But that's a holler. I don't know if that's a grove. I'm trying to like pinpoint what exactly a grove is, and I can't.
We'll put it out there for the Europeans. When Jimbo says holler, he means a hollow.
Yeah. I honestly, I never used that word.
I know.
I joined the pipeline as a pipeliner. Everyone call it a holler or holla.
Yeah.
Not a hollow. Never a hollow. So I never knew even how to say it. I said it like 3 different ways for the past 2 years.
Yeah, I got you. I know somebody was going to be in the Discord going, what's a holler?
Holler, what are you yelling for?
Why are you yelling at me, man?
But I know some of these mountains have ice.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see variants of like snow layers. That's really cool. I didn't know that would generate.
Uh-huh.
But this is all in Bedrock. We don't know if it's going to come out the same.
Correct. I have a feeling it's going to be very, 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 very close, but there might be a few differences.
Yeah.
But it's for the average player, I don't think you'll be able to tell. It'll come down to just Java didn't act exactly the way Bedrock did, so they had to code it just a little bit different. So this one sub biome might have this one rock that sticks out in a weird formation all the time. I don't know. It'll be super close.
One thing I noticed, this is a little off topic. I never noticed this before, but in Bedrock, the character blinks.
Yeah.
It's a long blink. Like, it's not like a natural blink. Usually it'd be real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, they do like a long blink, like a sloth type of deal.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty funny.
Well, I can't remember if I was talking about it with you or this was back when Bank was on, but Bedrock has emotes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been circling the tank. I figured Java would be coming up with emotes also at some point. I get like that's a lot harder to program into Java than it is Bedrock. But I just kind of had that feeling that we were going to get emotes at some point, especially when I saw the crawling feature come into play. And then everyone's kind of like, that was kind of by accident. And we decided to leave it because it was a good feature.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, never mind. Was way off on that. I miss on my guesses sometime.
I miss regularly.
So you want to make a bet?
After the show, not live.
We'll save the bet of the year for later.
Yeah, we definitely want to get in on that. So building height is at 320 now in Bedrock. They didn't give you the caves yet. You're not getting the caves yet in Bedrock.
Yeah, they don't have the subterranean done.
Mm-hmm.
So any of the negative Y levels, that's not in there yet either.
Yeah, just mountains. We got the caves. You got the mountains.
I'm trying to look through to see if there's anything else. Seeing the goat, I think the goat's adorable. I really like every once in a while it just randomly jumps up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Jumps like 4 blocks up. It's like, what the heck? And what's weird is my uncles owned goats. So I grew up as a kid around goats. And I've never once seen a goat jump higher than my height.
I've never been around goats too often.
They do climb everything, though.
Yeah.
I mean, most of this we've talked about, like the new ores, the generation, the textures and stuff. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rabbit spawning in Mountain Grove. I would make something about that, but I don't know what a Mountain Grove is yet.
Yeah, it'd be nice to distinguish the difference in between them.
Yeah.
The goat looks derpy.
It does.
It does look like a little derpy.
That's why I like it. I like how derpy it looks.
Same here.
Anyway, should we go ahead and move on?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, so we have a listener comment from ohbeep. They say, how are you preparing for the next update? For a head start, I'm putting together a rabbit card, or rabbit farm, ready for bundles. We all know how I feel about bundles. That's all I'm going to say. Because I get in trouble every time I talk bad, I guess.
Let's just say DuDs is not building a rabbit farm.
DuDs is not building a rabbit farm. I'm not preparing for the next update at all. Mainly because I don't know if Ripple Effect's going to start a new world on 1.17, or if we're going to keep playing on the same world for 1.17.
Yeah.
So there's that.
It's hard to know when you don't have everything yet.
Yes.
You don't have all the update, pretty much. You just don't have it yet.
Yeah. I mean, other than the new blocks, which I think have been awesome, the only thing from 117 that we've seen that I'm excited about is lava source regeneration. That's it.
Really?
That's the only thing that we've seen so far. I think the mountains look pretty, but it's not enough to make me go live in a snowy mountain. I think the caves are a lot cooler than I thought they were going to be, but that's not going to get me to go live in a cave. Really, the technical part of the source, water source, and lava source really intrigues me. I'm pretty sure when the Deep Dark and the Warden come to fruition, I'll be way more interested in that stuff. But for now, out of the stuff we've seen, yeah, renewable lava is really the only thing I'm super excited for.
Yeah, I do love that feature. But man, I'm so excited for the Deep Dark and the adventures under the ground.
But we haven't seen the Deep Dark yet.
Yeah, we don't have that yet. And that's like what I'm most excited.
Right. That's why I said out of the stuff we have, maybe goats.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm more excited for goats than anything. Because, like you said, they're so derpy. It's cute.
Yeah. I'll probably I'll definitely have a goat eventually.
Yeah. I fully plan on trying to figure out how to be able to cheese a warden because I'm too much of a wuss to face it head on. And let's face it, it'll wreck my face.
No, you can beat him. Those PvP skills.
Oh, God.
Just dance around him. You see duds just dancing around a warden.
Yeah. Let's dance around the thing that follows sound waves.
There you go.
More like stand still and not cry.
Give him 2 of his strengths to beat you.
Yeah. I have been looking at ore generation, I guess, is something I can say to figure out the best way to mine. And it really comes down to how much are they going to hide ores.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. They're going to hide some ores, and we haven't really seen that fully fleshed out yet. I'm hoping it's not an excessive amount, because it seems like they really want you to do caving this update. But if the ores are already hidden, then I have no reason to go caving.
Yeah.
Especially if I know to go down to Y level -11.
Yeah.
And get everything I need there.
Yeah, that's the beauty of caving, finding those exposed ores.
Right.
They mention, I think most of them won't be exposed to the air anymore. And it kind of takes the fun out of caving. I think they're, trying to give us other things to be excited about than just finding ore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a branch miner anyway.
Yeah.
If I want to find diamonds, I go to 11. Now, if I want to find diamonds, I got to go to, pretty much -64 sounds like it's the most abundant. So that's probably where I'll go.
One, plus you get the slate or deep slate.
Yeah.
Which is a gorgeous block. I really do. They showed the new deep slate top texture, because I think that was something I complained about in the last episode, was I love deep slate, but when they had the top texture on it, it was so weird that I wasn't a fan of it. The new top texture is better, for sure, but I would like a slab variant with that top texture also. I don't know how to really say it in a way other than I want a slab variant. It's a good texture, but it needs, I want to say, like, accessibility. I need to be able to use different variants of it together. If it's just a full block, that handicaps my building style so much that it'll basically just be a generic floor when it gets used.
Yeah, that's kind of like the issue with basalt. You have some nice looking blocks and textures in there, but you don't get the slab and stairs. It can limit your building,
right,
or your designing.
It's got its place, but if it had slabs and stairs, it would have more places to go.
Slabs and stairs are great. They're pretty great.
Yeah, throw in some walls too.
Yeah, maybe a wall or two. Maybe brick
maybe
it.
A wall.
Maybe smooth it.
Maybe a polished version.
Is that too much? Back to ohbeep, I don't really have like a plan, initial plan starting. I usually start off the way I do, and then I don't know, just go from there, I guess. I do get a base planning in sight, though it seems to change every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about anything to build. I might take what I was supposed to build this season and build it next season. It could help being that high.
Yeah, that's the way I am. Updates really don't influence my bases, especially if you look at my bases. My bases are usually one update ahead of when they would have been perfect for.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. Plus, I have 3 or 4 base ideas in my mind at all times.
Ooh.
And it's all about if I can find the right terrain to work that base in. Like, I have a jungle base in my mind.
Yeah.
For 3.5 years now, but I've never found the right terrain to build it, so it's never been built.
You're just going to have to build that terrain.
I'm just going to have to build the terrain.
You're trying on the mountain.
And we see how well that's going with a mountain.
But yeah, there's some blocks I have ideas with, I see and stuff. But yeah, not like a build I have in mind.
Yeah.
Or a farm I want to start before any. I mean, if anything, Iron Farm would still be just as valuable as before.
Yeah. Wild berries might be one of my other things I'm excited for, just because it's a new light source. And I'm really getting into the overgrown kind of building. So having a vine that glows could be cool.
Ooh, and I like the whole glowing thing, how you can make like signs glow and certain things. I think they can implement that into the game a lot more now that they have that.
Yeah, and I admit I was a little disappointed in seeing what the glowing does. But when you walk around and you're trying to read signs, and even when the signs are dark and they use the white dye, you're still just like squinting. You're like, what the heck does that sign say?
Right.
Having the glow ink would come in handy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on a little bit, because we got to get to mending Minecraft and our topic from last week still.
Right, which might be next week's topic if we keep going.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks for that, ohbeep. That comment came for our Discord server, and our Discord is the only place where you can talk to everyone who works on the show easily. Just take me Jason's word from it, or for it.
Hey friends, it's me Jason, and I'm a member of the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to talk to your fellow listeners and give your input into the show. You might even get your question or comment read out on a future episode. Join the Discord today. Link is in the show notes, and I'll see you there. Duds 100% this message.
Thanks again for the Discord ad, me Jason, and I totally didn't butcher the script. Carl, don't hate me.
He did. I'm sitting right here. I heard everything.
This is what happens. Like every time we go to do the show, or I go to stream or live stream, my nose just gets stopped up. I'm dead serious. It hasn't been stopped up all day. But the second we sat down to record. Anyways, speaking of the Discord, it's the only place you can get involved in our Mending Minecraft vote. This week's vote, we ask you to choose between one of 3 mobs for us to discuss and approve. Your choices were Snow Golem, Cave Spider, and Ghast.
And the winner of Mending Minecraft this week is Snow Golem.
Yup.
Pretty close between the Snow Golem and the Ghast. The Ghast had 26, Snow Golem with 32, and the Cave Spider with 7.
Everyone hates cave spiders.
Good riddance to them cave spiders.
Squish it! Squish it now!
Oh, if I could step on those things, they'd be all done for.
I want the ability to do the Super Mario jump and squish on a cave spider.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Anyways, tell us about the Snow Golem.
A Snow Golem is a snowman-like utility? What?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a weird word, but yeah.
Snowman-like utility mob that helps defend against hostile and neutral mobs. I wrote this down. I don't remember putting that. Probably copy and paste. Anyways, Snow Golems can be created with 2 stacked snow blocks with a carved pumpkin placed on top. Snow Golems drop 0 to 15 snowballs upon death. Snow Golems have a trail of snow on the ground if the blocks can support it, or leave a trail of snow. They do not take fall damage, yet still take freezing damage from powdered snow. Thrown snowballs do not deal damage except to blazes and wolves. And Snow Golems melt/die in badlands, deserts, savannas, and biomes in the nether. The fire resistance effect allows them to survive in these biomes. Didn't know that.
Yeah, so Snow Golem was kind of a difficult mob to improve because, let's face it, they're already the best mob in the game.
There's a lot to it when I was going through those notes.
Yeah. So the way I broke it up this week is the obvious fixes, the not so obvious fixes, and then boss mode. Because remember, I'm trying to get more in depth with the Mending Minecraft, especially now that we've expanded it So I want to get a little bit creative and crazy, and not all of my ideas might be good for the game, but I mean, why not? It's our podcast. Let's go nuts.
Right.
The first one, one of the obvious things I have is, why is a snow golem taking damage from powdered snow?
Yeah, I don't know what's in that snow.
According to the wiki, that's not a bug, and that's the way they're going to do it. My first fix is that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Snow golem should be able to walk over top of powdered snow without taking damage.
Yeah, I mean, they are snow. They're part of it.
They are snow.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing is, when you shear a pumpkin off a golem, it should increase its range attack. So you know how when you put a pumpkin head on when you fight the Ender Dragon, because, Endermen are all over the place?
Yeah.
You really have a reduced vision, and it kind of makes it hard to see all around.
You lose those peripherals.
Yeah, when you shear that off of a snow golem, they should be able to see better too and increase their range of attack.
I love it.
I can't remember how far they throw now. It's like 15 blocks or something now that they can throw a snowball.
I did not write that down.
Maybe, but just double it. Whatever it is now, just double it.
I do like that idea.
Yeah.
Giving them more ability without the helmet or the head. Or what is that? Just a pumpkin.
Yeah, it's just a pumpkin. Snow golems that end up walking over cauldrons should fill cauldrons with powdered snow. Another way to get a renewable source using the cauldrons.
Okay.
Another thing, why damage wolves with snowballs?
Yeah.
I get the blazes because that's a fire mob, but a wolf?
Yeah, a wolf should be able to take a snowball.
Yeah, I guess if you have a golem guarding your llamas, that kind of makes sense. Put a snow golem in the pen with your llamas and...
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or protect any mob from wolves, whatever wolf, or whatever they would say. Maybe a sheep.
That's true.
They're shepherds.
Yeah. So a not so obvious fix I had is, so one of the things I noticed you didn't write down that I thought was super cool was that an Enderman can technically build a snow golem and spawn one.
Yeah.
It's super, super rare, but technically it can do that. We also know that snow golems in the end will attack Endermen. I had the idea, if an Enderman attacks a golem, instead of taking damage, the Enderman should just remove its head and leave a stacked snow block there.
Oh.
So kind of like Frosty the Snowman, you take his hat and he turns into a normal snowman. He's not alive anymore. If an Enderman comes and takes its head, now, and see, that would be a reason to shear the pumpkin. Because if you shear the pumpkin, then the Enderman can't pick up the snow golem head. But if you leave the pumpkin on there, the Enderman should be able to pull the pumpkin off. Yeah?
Yeah. I like that. That's one thing I didn't mention. You can shear the pumpkins off the snow golems. They have a derpy face underneath.
And then finally, the boss mode would be creating a snowman, or snow golem, the exact same way you do an iron golem. And the iron golem would be called a snow yeti. And its main priority would be to never leave your side and guard you.
Ooh, I like that.
That might be a little too much, especially if you build a snow yeti and then have to go visit the desert. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a way out there thinking I like the different golems in the game. And a snow golem's cool. So I was like, well, how could I ramp that up? And it's like, oh, well, you take the properties of an iron golem, but you make it strictly a bodyguard for whoever creates the golem. That's its life purpose, is to protect you, Secret Service style.
I feel like with the name Golem at the end, Snow Golem, it doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a snowman. That's a freaking snowman, right?
This is true.
That's not a golem. It's a snowman. You think a golem, you think rock creature type, iron golem, iron creature type, but big and bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why Golem is involved in his name.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would take out. Maybe Snow Guy. Well, that's a little... That's creative, Jimbo. Snow Guy, okay.
There is lore about golems having their name because they're created by they're somebody, or they're, what do you call it?
Summoned? Brought to life?
Summoned, yeah, by a person. Yeah. So okay. That's where the word golem probably came from. Maybe wrong, maybe not.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think golem, you think bigger. And when I thought snow golem and saw it, I was like, that's a snowman. But
Yeah, that's a snowman.
I think the best way to use the snow golem is to, farm it for the snow layers underneath.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to dig up any snow ever. You can have those snow layers farm for you. Just keep that pumpkin in one place. It's not very hard to make.
Yeah, super easy.
I bet there's going to be a lot of those in this update. Terraforming in snow, using layers and stuff.
Probably.
I'm going to see a lot of those farms, I imagine.
Yeah.
But one idea I had, you had your ideas? I was just thinking, just to throw it out there. What if you could put that pumpkin back on his head?
Okay.
That's it. You just put it back. If you want it back, take it off and on.
That would make sense.
What if they had different faces? They all have the same face. What if they had, I don't know, maybe the mouth, pixels of the mouth were random, and they just give you different looks. Thought that'd be pretty neat.
That would be cool.
See what derpy face this one has, shear them off. It'd give you more, I don't know, reason to build them.
Yeah. Got to collect them all, right?
Right. That's it. That's all I got.
If that's all you got, let's move on to our topic from last week we never got to.
Yeah.
And this is random thoughts on 117. We're doing another random thoughts, mainly because the snapshots have been kind of slow. They've been introducing new stuff, but not enough to really carry a full topic.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of small, quick topics we've had. We gave you guys one last week, but here's the other 4 this week. I'll let Jimbo read his first one first.
Before we read these, we covered a topic in the pre-show about like SMPs and, gelling with other people. We drug that on pretty good. We could have used that as a topic. So that's some good stuff if you want to hear that.
Yeah, if you guys want us to talk about SMPs, especially the formation of Comicraft and stuff like that, because that was a long, drawn-out process.
Yeah, so my first random thought,
Mm-hmm.
I really want to get those new cave sounds and feel. Similar to like the Nether.
Yes.
How you get that ambience. I want that underground. I don't know how easy it'd be to do that above ground. I think it'd be a biome-based ambience.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really want that under the ground to give you that. I don't know. It seemed to like put you on edge in the Nether, just those sounds and everything. And I would like that also underground.
100% agree with you. The Nether spoiled us,
Mm-hmm.
and with everything that they've done, that when Cave and Cliffs update was announced, it's like, nope, gotta have what I had in the Nether, but this time in the overworld. I need ambient sounds. I need cool looking biomes.
Mm-hmm.
I need new blocks.
They already spoiled us. Too late.
They spoiled us. So my first random thought is, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago. I want another new disc, music disc. Pig Step was too awesome for us to leave off there. But with the Warden responding to sound and frequencies and all this stuff, maybe the new music disc soothes the Warden. So while it's playing, the Warden doesn't attack you. Like it chooses to listen to the music instead of listen for you to attack you.
That is a brilliant idea. I love that.
That'd be one way to get around the Warden nice and easy without having to kill it.
Yeah. And every hostile mob has a weakness,
Mm.
I mean, of course, you would think Warden, they can only hear. Maybe it can be some kind of sound you make that like paralyzes them or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it just puts them in their happy place and, and they're just standing there.
That's more what I thought, was maybe the music disc would put the Warden in its happy place. And maybe you look over and it's kind of swaying and dancing to the music. It doesn't care about you. It's got its good times rolling.
Yeah, he's not so angry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he like shakes a move.
Yeah, kind of like parrots.
You imagine the Warden down there dancing. Parrots.
That'd be so funny.
I do like that though.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is new Y-axis growth is going to be epic and terrible.
Yes.
Here's why. The world expands. That is epic. More building room, more base ideas, just so much more to the world. Problem is, there's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't experienced it yet. It hasn't dropped the update. The rendering. There's so much more, and there's going to be so much more to render. And it goes by chunk. So it's from the bottom to the top. You're rendering all this stuff in. And you're rendering multiple chunks around you that go from the bottom to the top. So I'm really skeptical about the performance at the beginning. Are these worlds going to be able to handle 10, 12 players at first, rendering in this world. I don't know. So it's a wait and see. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, but I'm also terrified.
Yeah, we're all still gun shy from 113 and the fact that salmon and cod essentially would kill a server.
Right.
I agree with you, and it worries me. I will say, since 113, they've done a very good job of making sure that an update was as optimized as possible at the time. Because obviously you can't fully test an update until players get it in their hands and stress test the heck out of it.
Right. And then there's Bedrock. Bedrock seems to render in a lot smoother than Java. So I'm kind of curious how they handle it. Would it be similar to ours or way better?
Bedrock, I think, renders in everything at one time. Like, they're not doing chunks. Like, that entire area is rendered. I might be wrong. Some Bedrock player let me know. But I think that's the way it is.
Probably right. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about their performance as well.
My number 2 is I don't think we've seen all the cave types yet. I think some cave types are being held back just in case they have time restraints and they're not sure they can really get the formations out the way they want them to be. Like the big one that kind of gets pushed around is, we want ice caves, and Mojang kind of hinted like, yeah, we know you want ice caves, trust us, we know, but we have to deliver on what we've said we wanted to deliver on already first.
Right, that's a good point.
I don't think we've seen all of the caves yet, but this might be the only caves we get for now.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree there. Yeah, you got to polish up what you got first. Get the bugs out, especially if you have that issue with the rendering.
Yeah,
it's just another biome it's got to render.
And
if they do me a solid and put those new caves and sounds or new feel and the sounds in, that's going to be particles rendered in. It's going to be more stuff rendered in.
Yeah.
My next one is, what is the Warden protected? This was brought up by King B Dogs and never really got an answer. Yeah, I'm just curious of what kind of structures will generate down there with them. You see that one little area they went into in the snapshot or the review, and just a couple chests, some candles. You don't see much of it.
Right.
And I'm really curious of what this place is going to look like. I'm sure you'll have your skulk sensors and stuff, things of that nature. But you have any idea what could be down there with the Warden?
No, I know what I'm hoping for, and I really doubt it's going to happen, but I'm hoping for like a woodland mansion that has fallen in a sinkhole and been buried over the world. So like maybe the Warden was the protector of the house. Now that the house is in the deep dark, he's obviously gone blind because it's too dark to see, and now relies on sound waves to navigate themselves around. That's what I'm hoping to find, a dilapidated, there we go, mansion underground, Y level -40 zone. That'd be awesome. Kind of doubt it.
Fighting that thing in a mansion?
I know, right?
Oh, man. If you can become friends with that thing,
ooh,
you don't have to worry about any mobs.
My next random thought is, I don't think we've seen all the new blocks in this update yet either.
We got a lot more. Just came.
We've already gotten enough blocks. I don't think we're done yet. I think there's at least 1 or 2 blocks hidden out there that might come. I'm looking at you, Slate. Not Deep Slate, just Slate.
There could be some new ones added to that mountain. We haven't seen too much of the mountain.
This is true also.
Just what the Bedrock brought.
Maybe a frozen tree type or something.
Maybe. My last random thought is how annoying the azalea bushes are going to be.
Yeah.
I notice a lot of times, people show you the trick of bone mealing a moss block with other blocks around it. They instantly turn into moss blocks. It's a really nice feature, to gather this moss block. But what comes with that are these azalea bushes. And I don't think it's even like a moss thing. I think it's like even on grass.
Yeah.
You bone meal this thing. I could be wrong, but every time I see people bone mealing something, these azalea bushes pop up. They're neat. You can use them in different areas, but I have a feeling they will fill up in your inventory pretty quickly when bone mealing and stuff. I just feel like they're going to be abundant.
Yeah, so what you're saying is they're going to be the seeds of moss.
Yeah, those are your moss seeds. It's going to take up your inventory.
Yeah, every time you bone meal grass and then you have to break the grass, you get a handful of seeds in your inventory you've got to get rid of. Now you're going to have azalea bushes.
Yeah. And if you don't use them, then it's going to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself a composter because azaleas are coming.
Azalea's coming to take over your composter.
Coming for your moss.
Anyways, my last random thought on 117 would be that it would be cool if you ate glowberries. Maybe it gives you night vision for like 10 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
As a side effect.
Or maybe gives you a glowing effect, like if you don't have a torch, you can eat a glowberry and things will light up around you.
That's not even in the base game yet. That's an Optifine thing.
Yeah, that's an Optifine thing. Thought I had something.
You thought you had something, but you had nothing.
Yeah, but night vision would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's not overpowered for 10 seconds. It's oh crap, I walked down into the deep dark. I can't see anything. I walked past these glowberries on the way down and let me eat a glowberry. Hey, I can see. Oh crap, that's a warden. Smash, you're dead.
That's a good point. Those new blocks that are down there are darker, so it's going to seem a lot darker too.
Yep.
You might need night vision might be essential for mining now down there.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing I was going to mention earlier that I forgot because I forget a lot of stuff I try to say is that block down there is harder to mine, takes longer to mine. And that's going to be annoying for branch mining that low.
Mm-hmm.
So though you can't cave, you got to branch mine. Now branch mining is a little bit harder. So yeah, they're definitely making it a little more challenging.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a non-early game area. Like, you're not going to go mining down there on the regular your first week on the server.
Right. And what we saw, it looks like there's diamonds at 11. You still find them there.
Yeah.
So should be all right.
Yeah, it's basically going to be, you're going to start out, you'll do your normal caving, normal mining. Well, now you've started enchanting gear, so now you go deeper. Now you start to get some really good stuff that you can upgrade with.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it for our random thoughts on 117. We spent most of our time in the pre-show, so I'm sorry about that. Those of you guys who don't know, we do a pre-show for the patrons, and that's $1 a month if you want to join and listen in on that stuff.
Yeah, if you guys have any random thoughts, throw them at us.
Mm-hmm.
We're always willing to listen.
Yep. But I think that's going to do it for today's show. Before I have Jimbo read us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are aubni, ChiefBigBear, Crock, Firestar, FragileRock, ohbeep, StoneFigure, viperoustuna, and YDYT. If you too would like to get access to the exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
If you like this show, you can share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you would like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com. Tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can chat with anyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links will be in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be, and the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. As always, thank you so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.